Jack Walker's been ruled out with concussion. It gives Ashton Golden a chance to come into the squad. Nice for Ashton to have a chance. You mentioned how hard he's been working in training to have a run out.
Yeah, I think I mentioned it last week after the Halifax game. I thought Jack Walker was the best player on the field, and he's been very, very good. But Ashton, behind the scenes, has been pushing and probing and prodding. And I think he's played a part in Jack's performances improving. I think to have somebody breathing down your throat has brought the best out in Jack. Ashton's attitude is as good as anybody in the group, and he's determined to play well tomorrow. He's waited for his opportunity, and hopefully he'll go out and perform as well as he can and really add to the group.
Have you noticed any sort of different vibe within the group this week, playing against Toronto, a team they've only really seen on TV? It's not often an opportunity comes along like that. I mean, in your career, the first games against Catalans presumably was something similar.
Yeah, I think the guys realise we've got an opportunity tomorrow night, one to play against a team we've never played against, but also everything's in our hands as things stand. So that's probably been the most exciting bit for the boys. They know that if they go out and do what they can do tomorrow night, then we have full control of the situation, and we're not relying on anybody else's results, or we're not getting a calculator out to check afterwards. To be in this position is what those boys have earned, and I just hope we're good enough to capitalise on that tomorrow.
Hopefully the team can get the result, and it will be the last game of the season. That means it'll be the last game in Rhinos colours for Joel Moon and for Jimmy Kinehorst as well. How would you assess both those players' contribution to the club?
Yeah, I think they both had huge contributions. Joel has been around a long time and been part of a number of different trophy-winning teams. He'll like me saying this, he's a cool guy. I've really enjoyed playing alongside him, but coming back, I've really enjoyed working with him as well. He's tough, he's durable, he puts his body on the line every single week without any questions asked, and he's classy, he's got time. I don't think I've seen many, in fact I don't think I've seen anybody get over the top of him. Defensively he's very strong. For a guy who's not a massive bloke, but he's just classy, and we'll miss him. I think his combination with Hawley over the years has been outstanding down that left flank, and it'll be a huge loss for us. Jimmy's probably not been around as long as Joel, and had a different contribution, but I think his journey is one to be admired, to make the break from playing university rugby to suddenly appear and playing a Challenge Cup final, I think in his 4th appearance for the club, and he's got a really good attitude. Another one, sad to see lose, but another club will take him, and hopefully he continues to progress and get better. It was really good 2015 to play alongside him. I think we both went through a bit that year, and it was great to finish on the field alongside him in that grand final, and obviously he had a pretty decent contribution towards the back end of it as well. So wish him all the best. They're welcome back here anytime.
You mentioned Joel Moon and his durability there. Jamie Jones Buchanan gave a great example of that this week at the club's awards dinner, where he talked about how Mooney would often see that Jonesy was struggling, having made 3 tackles on the bounce, and would take on his workload for him and let Jonesy have a rest in the centres. Does that sum up sort of the unseen, maybe unappreciated by the spectators element of Joel Moon, but his teammates know the value of him?
Very much so. Very much so. He's one of the old guard, and I mean that in the nicest possible way, because he's not that much of an old bloke really, but he does things because they need doing, and he doesn't do things because he wants patting on the back for it. He just gets it done, and he knows when people are struggling, he knows when people are tired, he knows when he's got a bit of life and a bit of energy that he can go make a difference, and he's done that the whole time he's been here. He's certainly been a player that everybody's really enjoyed playing alongside, and I think that's one of the nicest things I could say about him. You know, if you're in a team and everyone wants you to be in that team and everybody loves playing alongside you, it speaks volumes. And Mooney's prepared to put his body on the line and cover for people, even though it may mean he gets injured at certain times, but he's still willing to do it.
Speaking of the awards, Richie Myler was named the Player of the Year. Having worked with Richie over the last 3 months, how have you found him?
Yeah, he's been good. He brings a real energy about. As a half, you need that. He's cocky. He's in the nicest way. Reminds me a little bit of Rob Burrow. I think you need a bit of an edge, but he's got a nice edge to him. Really good talker on the field, gets her around, and yeah, he's made a huge contribution this year. I think the big stat is the try assists. He's put try after try on for people this year, and he allows whoever plays in the other half-back role to concentrate on more of a running game, and yeah, I think he's been excellent this last 6 weeks.
With that in mind, are you excited to see him partnered up with either Tui Lolaheo or Callum McClellan for next year? The dynamic there could be something special. Yeah,
very much so. I think I'll probably see it as one of the halves controlling and getting us around the field, probably looking after the majority of the kicking game, and the other one a bit of a free spirit, and Lolaheo certainly provides that magic. Callum's probably somewhere in between the two, and he could fulfil either role. I'm really looking forward to seeing how that battle unfolds, and who ends up being our mainstay 6 and 7 for the majority of 2019 will be really interesting.
Friday night hopefully will be the final game for the team. They can put their bare feet up, but presumably for you, once we know next year, the phone calls start and emails start flying around to really firm up the work you've been doing in the background.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, the players will get a well-earned rest. But like I said earlier, it allows me to start pushing some buttons and moving some things forward, and inevitably that may take some time. But you know, I'll do my absolute best so that for the start of the season in 2019, we're in the best shape possible. It may take 12, 24 months to get it to where I'm really happy with how we're operating and how we're running, but I think we try and build something too quickly. I'm not quite sure we have the right foundations in place, and I want to make sure it don't come crashing down, so we've got to build something for the next 10 years here and make sure we do it right.
And just finally, talking about the next 10 years and building for the future, Rob Burrow's under-19 side there through to the grand final on Friday night against Wigan. You won grand finals as an academy player. It's a special occasion for them. Yeah,
it's great. I'm delighted for Rob, delighted for the staff, and obviously delighted for the players. They really deserved it. Rob's done a tremendous job, and there's some real talent in that team. You know, I think it's a long time since we've been in an academy grand final, and the quality we've got in there is as good as we've had for a long time as well. So the plan is for a number of those to come through. You know, we've got to start creating our own players again. We've got to start pushing them through and wrapping around them some world-class players from around the globe, and those boys will get an opportunity if they're good enough. So you know, whatever the result is tomorrow night, I know that the future's bright with some of those young players, and it'd be great if they could come back with a trophy. They fully deserve it, and wish them all the best.
You were part of an academy side that was part of a generation of players that won grand finals, won championships every season, and then that group came together. How important is it to have that winning culture and know that the end of the season finishes with success, to when they become first team players, that's their expectation? Yeah,
it's huge. Winning's a habit, and a bit like tomorrow night for the first team. You know, we've got to start creating some good habits. That's why if we can top the qualifiers tomorrow night, yeah, it's nothing to shout from the rooftops about, but it's about time we started being number one again, and we've got to try and get there as quickly as we can, but in the right way of doing it as well. And it's took a while for our academy to be able to do that again. But it's easy getting there once, but can we back up next year? Can we get to a grand final next year? Can we do it the year after? Can we consistently do it? And when we get to that stage, we'll consistently produce real quality players who value winning grand finals, who value being on those big occasions, and that's what we've got to get back to.